Hi, my name is Kevon Owen. This is Jack Smith, and something that happens in counseling sometimes, people come in and they tell us, sometimes when they feel like people don't agree with them, that they're against them or they hate them. Jack, what do you say to that?
I say we need to have more of an open mind, leave space for people to have different ideas and different beliefs than us. Especially as a Christian, I think that we need to be tolerable in the way that we handle other people's beliefs and the way that they think about things. Not everybody's going to think like us. Not everybody's going to believe like us. Not everybody's going to see the world the way we do.
Remember who you're talking to. If the sum of your interactions is that of love, if it's some like your parents, your spouses, your children, and who they've been hasn't been someone who's been hate-filled or oppositional, then maybe when they're giving you other views, it's might even be worth listening to. If I'm listening to a complete stranger who has a problem with what I'm doing, well, that's one thing. But if it's someone who knows me and loves me and I know who they are, well, then I kind of want to give it a chance and assume that maybe they're not against me. Maybe they don't hate me.
Yeah, I think the other thing is also what are we trying to get out of the interaction? Are we trying to be right, or are we trying to build relationships? If you're trying to be right, then go ahead, disagree all you want. But if we're trying to build relationships, then we need to understand that other people are going to think different, and that's okay. What's the most important thing? What are you trying to do? The goal of your interaction is very important. It's going to play out in the way that you handle disagreements.
If you find yourself talking to somebody and they're telling you that they don't necessarily agree with an idea that you have, you don't have to accept it. But it's funny how we all want to be loved, we all want to be respected, and we suddenly stop loving and respecting people when they don't agree with us. One of the symptoms of an unhealthy personality disorder is when you become very dismissive of other people, when you become to the point where if they represent opposition at all, they've got to go. That's great and all, except for the fact that usually these types of pathologies lead to a person not having healthy relationships, not having people in their life. That leads down a very lonely road.
Yeah, and the accountability that you don't have, that's a big thing. I've seen pastors and business leaders and husbands fall aside because they didn't have anybody in their life that they were willing to listen to that might disagree with how they're doing something. They wouldn't listen, so next thing you know, they're in a really bad spot, and their life can be ruined from that. A lot of people will take things personal when somebody disagrees. They'll it's a shot to their identity. That's my idea, like it's your baby or something, and you get really, really offensive and defensive when that happens. And I would just say that to change the way you look at that. When somebody disagrees with you, they're not disagreeing with you as a human being. They're just disagreeing with your perception on that particular idea or topic.
If you've ever met somebody who votes differently than you, entertain the notion that you're probably not going to convince people of different ideas. What if you guys weren't going to agree on some things? Does that mean that you can't be friends? Does that mean that they can't love you or care about you or value you? How many people do you see whose whole premise for voting was just to be different than their parents? It happens. It's a thing, and it doesn't mean that they hate you. It doesn't mean anything like that. You get to ascribe the value that's there. You get to decide, does this conversation mean one thing or does it not? We're so sensitive about our validation. If our friends, if our loved ones don't validate us, then they must not really be our friends. That is nonsense.
Yeah, I would use the old adage, agree to disagree. That's a nice way to end it. That way you're still friends, you're still respecting this person as a human. You're just agreeing that neither one of you agree, and that's okay.
If you find yourself in a place like that, or maybe you're feeling the repercussions of maybe disagreeing with somebody and they've decided that you're not their friend, we help people with interpersonal communication. We'd love to help you.